Well, I've got a project I'm going to work on today. It's a vehicle housekeeping type project, and it's something that I've never done before. Um, it's shocks for the rear of Sami. I'm sure you probably remember that episode. Probably be a few weeks ago now, where I was out on a drive and one of the rear shocks came undone, and I found out the shocks were completely blown out. After messing around a little bit, I decided that we were just going to pull the whole shock off, and as you can see, no bueno. This thing is garbage. No fluid in them anymore. No fluid in them anymore. So they were pretty much useless. So I've got a new pair of shocks, and I was actually struggling to find out what shocks to get. I did some measurements, but all the shocks I could find were based on like vehicle, make, model, stuff like that. Nothing that was just like compressed to this and lengthened to this. Maybe I was looking at the wrong source. I'm sure there's got to be a way to find them like that. But as I was looking, I stumbled across a pair of air shocks. And that was the other question that I had, is how do I know what like strength or stiffness to get for the Samurai, because it's kind of a unique build. And I stumbled across these air shocks, and I thought, that could be a way that it looks like they'll extend and compress the way that I want them to. But I could adjust how stiff they are and stuff like that without getting into some really expensive shocks, because I would just adjust the amount of air that I put in them. So either that's going to be a good idea, or it's going to be a really bad idea on my part to go that route. One of the other things I noticed is that the cylinder diameter is quite a bit bigger than the shocks that I pulled off. So I don't know if this is going to work or not, or if it's going to be a complete bust, but that's what we're going to try and figure out today, is if I can make that happen or not. So I climbed on the Land Cruiser. I got to go throw it back in the carport, and then I'll go grab Sami. We'll put it in the shop and see what we can make happen. All right, got the Land Cruiser put away. I had it out because I did some search and rescue training this morning, and it's kind of set up with a lot of the water jug, and it's four-wheel drive, and just, I don't know, just a little more set up for that training. But I had to get all my tools and equipment out of it, so that's why it was sitting in the driveway. But now we've got Sami, and we're gonna roll it around and see if we can't get it set up. All right, got Sami in the shop here. I decided to move out a couple of vehicles so that I could work on this flat cement floor, because I'm going to be doing a lot of laying on the ground, and to be able to get my creeper underneath will be really helpful. So this is the air shock that I've got. Like I said, I've never dealt with these before. I have no idea how they work. I have an idea of how they work, but I've never put them together before. But I've also never like installed shocks, period. Maybe that's a little, I'll get a lot of backlash for that at my age, never having installed shocks, but I've just never done it. So all of this is going to be a trial run. First thing I'm trying to figure out is how to, like, I know these extend farther. I don't know if I'm going to have to set up the air system, get all the lines plumbed in, and actually put air into them, I'm guessing, to get them to extend out. We're going to find out. Okay. Excuse me. You're going to have to excuse my voice. I'm still kind of getting over a cold. I got the instructions out, kind of looked over those. I think I've got a good understanding of how this goes together. I've got the other shock pulled off, which actually seems like it's not leaking. Seems like it's holding pressure and handling it okay. Which is surprising to me, but I guess having one side shot out could still kind of give that feel. But the back end of this just felt like there weren't shocks at all, but what do I know? So I'm going to try and start putting this together, see if I can feed the airlines, see if stuff's going to fit or not, or how this is going to work, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so that's our first problem. It appears that that does not want to fit on that sleeve up there. So I think I'm going to push out this ring, try to at least, see if that allows it to go on. I think that'll be okay. We'll still have the bushing and the nut and everything that should hold it on okay. Yeah, we'll see on that. Okay, try this again. There we go. And then that guy will stretch over there. Ooh, we're going to be close to our exhaust pipe. We're going to have to see how that goes. I'm wondering if maybe that is why that other one blew out. If it's getting too hot, all that up and down, we might need to turn that sucker. Huh. Okay. We got this guy. Let's see. I was gonna put that on. And then that. And that guy. And our nut. Like so. Sandwich that down. Nice and tight. In fact, I think I'm going to put another washer on that. That guy. Yeah, I think I like that better. So I think if I cut about there, then we could come into that T. Is that how I want to do that? I don't know if I go up. I think I've got my filler valve figured out where I want it to go. So I think what I'm going to do is cut these off so that I could put my T in. Get this guy put in. And I think I'm going to tee them off up high here, which should give them enough length for any flex or anything that they need. Up there somewhere. Okay, I'll go get that T-valve. I don't know what it's called. Splitter? Get that on. That in there. Look at that. So I think what I'm going to do is just use this clip up here. Just like that. That'll kind of tie that up in there. Like so. And then run these guys back. Where we need to get to. Man, we're gonna have barely just enough line for that. Put a little air in the system and it started expanding out. Oh. But this side is not wanting to go on very easy. Go grab a persuader. Oh, I see. I think I'm gonna have to maybe do a little grinding on it. I like my clearances though. We're a little tight here, which probably is going to be a little bit of an issue. In fact, I think that's definitely going to be an issue right there. Well, I think it's time to take it out for a test run. See how it does. But before we do, I need to make one modification to this setup that I've got here. And I'll show you what that is here in just a minute. There we go. What do you think, huh? Yeah. All right, let's take this for a ride. Find out how we did. It wants to articulate, and but it's absorbing that bump a lot better on that back end. Before it would just sit there and bounce and bounce and bounce, but now you can tell it's kind of compressing and doing what shocks are supposed to do. Feels a lot better. I'm really happy. I might let a little bit of air out of it, I think. I think they're a little too stiff. But then again, when I get my whole family in here and I've got, you know, kids in the back and gear and all that weight, maybe it'll be just right. I don't know. I might have to try it out a little bit, just see. But I think to start, I'm going to let it down a little bit and just let a little bit of air out. I think it's just a little too stiff. I'm going to articulate it here, right here, and see how things look with that. It's not stuffed up in there tight. It's got some articulation, and I think it's looking good. I am happy. I think it's going to be great. So I'll get back up to the shop now and see if I can get all those cables tucked up and see if I need to do any fine tuning on anything. Probably let a little air out like I said, but other than that, we're good to go. Ooh, there we go. Well, I had one more thing I wanted to check out. My headlights on this are terrible. Someday, let's clean that off. Someday I'm going to replace those with what I've got on the Land Cruiser. Lots better. But my light bar has kind of been my backup for nighttime driving because the headlights are so bad. And I noticed a while ago the light bar stopped working. So I thought it was something with the switch. So I got under there, started looking, wasn't there. So then I came back to the battery, checked the fuse there, the inline fuse. What I found was this right here. Split wide open. Something at some point pinched that good, and I don't think that it's probably this that did it. I'm wondering if I shut the hood on it at some point and did that. I'm just not sure. But this is a good opportunity to try and get it through that rubber gasket into the firewall instead of trying to go in between to see if maybe that's the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse those back together, fix it up, and we'll be good to go. Back in business. While I at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that wire too. Just in case that's what cut it, was going through the firewall. All right, we got it all taken care of. I've got one more thing I need to do on this rig, and that is I've got a remote winch controller. I chewed up my winch controller when I was working on my well, and I've got a remote winch controller that I need to replace that with so that I can control the winch outside of the vehicle. So we'll do that at some point, but I'm not going to worry about it today. I'm ready to call it a day, go inside and veg out on the sofa for a little bit.